Well, you can't hear me. That would be really bad. You just see my lips moving. It's a little bit harder to do. So I'm glad that you can hear me. You guys, is this your first video conference or have you done this before?
First!
Wow! I'm really glad for you, and I hope you all have the chance to do many video conferences in the future too. So just a note, you'll have a microphone. It might look something like this or more like a handheld, and when you're called on, then it would be a great help to me if you could speak loudly, because I seem to have some hearing problems sometimes when it comes to. So if you could just raise your voice when you're talking so that I can hear you, I would be really grateful. Otherwise, and I will be asking questions during the session, so it's not quite like you're watching a TV. It's more like there's a person here and I'm going to ask you questions and you will have to respond to them. And hopefully that won't be too hard. So you might be wondering why an 11-year-old is teaching you. Well, as your teacher said, these are my books. Flying Fingers, Master the Tools of Learning Through the Joy of Writing was my first. And this contains 9 of my short stories, as well as tips on writing. And there's actually a lot in here about descriptive writing, which is what we're going to be learning about today. My second book is called Dancing Fingers, and it's a book of poetry, which I co-authored with my older sister, Adriana. So she contributed some of her poems, and I contributed some of my poems, and it has quite a few overall. My third book is actually still an advanced copy, so that means it's not quite out yet in bookstores and stuff, but it's called Young Disguise, and it is my first novel. It's almost 300 pages, and I worked really, really hard to get it to that point, and right now I'm working some more on final edits. Today we're going to be learning about something, descriptive writing, that is a really invaluable tool in any writer's toolbox. That means that it is something that every writer should know how to use, descriptive writing. So, why should we write descriptively, you might wonder? That is a good question. Why go to the trouble of doing descriptive writing when I could just write a boring sentence? Well, when we write without description, we leave questions kind of hanging in the air. So, for instance, the creature entered the area. In this sentence, we do say the creature entered the area, but you might be wondering or having some questions. So if you will take a careful look at that sentence and then ask yourself, do you have some questions about the sentence? The creature entered the area. Do you have any questions about that?